Thank you everyone for your patience as we worked out those technical difficulties. I'd like to welcome everyone to our OneDrive for Business webinar. My name is Cara Clifford. I am recording live from LearnIT in San Francisco. And this webinar is going to go over all of the great features in OneDrive, including how to use OneDrive yourself, how to access OneDrive through your Office 365, and working with folders and syncing to your computer. I would like to recommend that you guys all subscribe to the channel. We're going to be doing a lot more of these free live webinars here on YouTube, and we're always looking to get your feedback and recommendations on topics you'd like us to cover. So thank you again for joining us for our OneDrive for Business webinar. And again, my name is Cara Clifford here at LearnIT. So I'm going to jump into our OneDrive for Business webinar, and we're going to go ahead and start with opening up a browser. So I'm going to open up, I'm working through a Windows 10 computer, and I'm going to open up the new Edge browser. So here I have the Edge browser. And this is OneDrive. So some of you might be familiar with this, but before I jump into showing it, I just want to talk a little bit about what OneDrive is. So OneDrive is cloud storage file hosting service that allows you to sync files to your computer and other mobile devices. So when everyone says, okay, we're going to sync to the cloud, what is that cloud? What is the cloud? The cloud allows us to access our information from anywhere. So some of you might already work with cloud storage features like Box, Dropbox, Google Drive, or iCloud. Those are all examples of cloud storage. And OneDrive is Microsoft's version of cloud storage. Now, when OneDrive was first released, it was released as SkyDrive, and it's been rebranded, and it's part of Office 365. So a lot of organizations are moving to Office 365, which is great for us end users because we can access all of our files wherever we go, whether from home or from our mobile devices. So how do you get an account at OneDrive? Well, you can access your OneDrive account through Office 365, and many of you working through organizations have a OneDrive account just like this through your Office 365. Now, you can go to on Microsoft portal at microsoftonline.com is one way. You can sign in, just Google or Bing sign in to Office 365 or OneDrive. This will have you put in your work email address. You'll put in your work email address, and if you do have Office 365, it'll bring you to your company page. Now, I'm already signed in, so I'm going to close out of this here and move back to the OneDrive location on my computer here. So we're going to just kind of explore the site. We're going to talk about the different options that we have in OneDrive, our different files, our different folders. And again, the beauty of OneDrive is that you're saving it in one location. So no matter what device you happen to be working on, whether it's your tablet at home or your desktop computer at the office, you can continue working on those files that you started. I don't know about you, but oftentimes I have, 6 different versions of things on my different devices, so it makes it really nice to be able to move back and forth from home to the office or in my commute and be able to pick up right where I left off. So when I come to OneDrive here, at the very top, you'll see I have a new option. If I select that new option, it gives me different choices. One of my favorite things about using OneDrive rather than other cloud storages is that it syncs directly with Microsoft Office. So I can create a Word document or an Excel spreadsheet or PowerPoint presentation right here, and I don't have any issues with formatting like I used to when using Google Drive or any of the other services, cloud storage services. So I'm going to just go ahead and create a new Word document by selecting New Word Document. And what it does is it opens up the online version of Microsoft Word. Now, it's not quite as robust as the local desktop client, but it gives me, for the most part, everything that I'm going to need. I can put in content, I can insert a table, I can add online pictures. I get all of the different formatting options, changing colors, etc. So whatever it is I need to do, whatever I need to create within this Word document, I can do that. Now, I'm going to go ahead and rename this document. I'm going to call it Orange Table. And I just clicked on that document title right at the top. Now, the beauty of using the online version of OneDrive and Word is that it saves automatically. And you can see down at the bottom here, it says saved to OneDrive. Now, to move back to my OneDrive folder, I have a hyperlink right at the top left. And if I select OneDrive, it moves me back into that file location. And down at the bottom right here, I can see there is my orange table document. So that's one quick way to create a document in OneDrive by just creating it right here using that new. I can also upload files that live on my computer. So I know I'm working on something and I want to make sure that I have access to that. I can go to upload and I can browse for documents on my desktop or files, whatever it is that needs to be uploaded. This is a new computer, so you can see there's not a lot of stuff, but I'm going to go ahead and upload this picture of OneDrive here. And I just uploaded it. It makes it very clear at the top right. I don't know if you caught that, but it says it's uploaded this file. And now I have an image of OneDrive that I can go ahead and share or rename, delete, send to a coworker. So whether you want to create new documents or you want to upload existing documents to OneDrive, it makes it very simple to do that, right? Very similar to using our file shares in the past. Right? Now, I'm going to go ahead and create a folder, some place to put all of this stuff. One of the most important things in working with OneDrive or working within a document management is keeping things organized. So I'm going to go ahead and create a folder, and I'm going to call this my OneDrive project. Create the folder. It saves it to my OneDrive account. And as I scroll back up to the top here, I now have a new folder. Now, this is the default format of the OneDrive, but if you want to go to something a little bit more traditional, in the top right corner here, you can switch to what is called just our standard file mode. So this looks a little bit more like a standard share drive, your Explorer window. I have my folders on top and my documents along the bottom. So if you don't like the tiles, if you prefer the rows and columns of the standard view, you can switch to that very simply. Now, I've created my OneDrive project folder, and if I want, I can just click and drag and drop files into that folder. So I can take that logo that I just added and drop it right into that folder, just like I would in any sort of Explorer window. So that makes it really easy. You can, after the fact, decide that you need to create a folder, and you can quickly create those and keep yourself nice and organized, whether by projects or any other options. So I'm going to go ahead and now move back over to our side section here, this left-hand area. This is all of the different files that I have, and because this is a new OneDrive account, there's not a lot on here, but I have my recent files, anything that I recently created, any photos that I've added, so it brings me into a different photo view. What I like about the photo view is it gives me a larger thumbnail, so I don't have to open up a million different links before I find the right image. I get that large image right there. It then changed my view, and I can go down to my albums or tags. Again, this is all working with the photos. Because I haven't added any new albums, I can do that. But I can upload if I go on vacation or if I work on a marketing project at the office. I have all of that available. To move back to the standard view, I just selected OneDrive, and right below photos, I have my shared files. All right. As you can see on the screen, let family, friends, colleagues view or even edit your files. Now, the collaboration feature of OneDrive is really one of the things that makes it, to me, most valuable. Being able to simultaneously edit a document with colleagues is super helpful, and OneDrive makes that very easy. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go through the process of sharing one of these documents with someone. I'm going to go ahead and share this orange table document that I just created with a colleague of mine. All right, so I'm going to put a check mark next to orange table. As soon as I do, you'll notice that options appear across the top. So I can have it open directly in Word, I can download a local copy to my computer, or I can share the file. Now, Right now, I have the option to email this file to anyone. Now, depending on your company and the regulations that they have, some companies don't allow you to share things with people outside of the organization. So if you don't have a, at whatever your company is email address, it'll default to read only, or it'll block it completely. I'm going to go ahead and share this document with a coworker of mine. This is actually my boss. I'm just going to put test. He's going to wonder what this is. And I'm going to go ahead and say recipients can edit. Right now, if I click that recipients can edit button, I get this drop down that appears. And one of the options is to set it as a view only. But I'm going to go ahead and leave it as recipients can edit. And I'm going to also say recipients don't need a Microsoft account, but that is an option as well. So you can say you have to be part of my network or you don't. Now again, depending on your IT settings, depending on how OneDrive was rolled out, you might not have the ability to share documents outside of the organization. So I'm going to click share, and that will send an email to my boss, and I'm going to choose to share it again, and it's sharing that orange table document. It wants me to do a security check. It wants to make sure I'm a real person. This is mostly because it's a new account. So I hit share, and it sends that. It's going to send an email to dlimby@learnit.com, and it's going to allow for that to be edited. And I'm going to go ahead and close out of this. Now, let's say time goes on and I can't remember who I've shared this orange table document with, which sometimes happens. Who has access to this file? I'm going to go ahead and select that orange table document one more time. And when I go up to the ... I see I can move it, copy it, rename it, or I can look at a version history. But if I click back on share again, it'll actually tell me who it was shared with. And over on the left there, I can see shared with, link sent to dlimby@learnit.com. So it's a great little way to ensure who has permission and that the right people are viewing that document. Now, if I wanted to change this, I maybe shared it with someone that I don't really want editing, I can click on that and I can change this from can edit to change to view only, or stop sharing altogether, right? So now it's no longer shared and I can close out of this. So again, it really helps ensure the security of your documents. It makes it very convenient. Rather than always attaching things to an email, you get the ability to just send it directly from the location that you created it. Now, right below our shared section along the navigation on the left, we have our recycling bin if anything was deleted. And then below that, I see I have PCs, right? What I've done earlier is I've synced my OneDrive account to my PC. That way, everything that I create or upload to OneDrive is automatically available through my Explorer window. And I'm going to open that up right now by going to the Explorer window down at the bottom. And you can see over on the left, I have my OneDrive folder location. I can see the folder that I just created called OneDrive Project. I can see my orange table document that I created today at 12:15. And I can see these little green check marks next to each of those. That is showing me that my documents are being synced, and I can save a document to this folder through my computer, or I can access any of the files that I created from my folder from OneDrive on my local computer. So again, super time saver, and it's very, very, very easy to access this and make sure that wherever you go, you have the most recent file. Now I'm going to open up Word. Oh, just kidding. I'm going to go ahead and move back to my OneDrive folder. I forgot I don't have Word on this computer. I've got to get that updated. But luckily I do have the OneDrive app. So again, this is a good example. I don't know about you guys. Sometimes I use an Apple computer. I have a Mac at home, and I don't have the newest version of Office on for the Mac. So what I do instead is I access Word through the web drive, through the web app, which is super helpful. And as I did before, I can go in and create a new Word document, but this time I'm going to go ahead and create a new PowerPoint presentation. So just like with Word, the online version is a little bit simplified. I don't have quite as many options, but I can go in here and I can create my new OneDrive presentation, put in my name or email address, and start adding my additional slides. Now, when I went to upload a photo, for me it makes it really easy because I have my access to my OneDrive right here. So I'm in OneDrive, but I also want to access files within that folder. So I can go into that OneDrive logo that I added earlier and upload that to my presentation so that I can create my new slides with all of my images. So just like I would work on, any device, I can access all of my information here. But I'm not even actually using the PowerPoint presentation. I'm using the web app. So I'm creating files through the web app. Right? Now, again, to rename the file, I'm going to click at the top here. I'm going to call this my OneDrive presentation. And I'm going to, once I see that it's saved down at the bottom, I'm going to go ahead and move back to OneDrive. Right? And now, right below the bottom, I can see that I have my OneDrive presentation. If I select on that OneDrive presentation, I have all of my different options across the top. And again, that ... has that move to option. But remember, you can always click and drag. But I'm going to go ahead and move it to that project folder. And now when I go into my OneDrive project folder, I've got my budget, I've got my presentation, and I've got that logo that I added. So OneDrive gives us the ability to access our files from anywhere, and I was just using my phone earlier today on a OneDrive file for some project that I'm working on here at LearnIT, and I actually have the OneDrive app. I don't know if you can see it or not, but I have my OneDrive files all on my iPhone. So my iPhone gives me access to all of the OneDrive files, which is super convenient. And I even have the Word Web App, so I can go ahead and edit those files, making changes from wherever I am. I was actually on the bus today heading to the office, making edits to a document in OneDrive. So extremely helpful. So for those of you working with cloud storage already using Box or using Google Drive, I encourage you guys to check out OneDrive because I think you'll be really happy. For me, the big advantage, again, is that automatic syncing, being able to use Microsoft Office applications, web apps, and know that my formatting and all of the specifics of my document are not going to be altered, which sometimes happened when I was working with other cloud storage devices. So formatting would get messed up, font size, colors, things like that. So with OneDrive, we ensure that we have that consistency amongst our Office documents, and it's free. OneDrive, you have free access to OneDrive, whether you are using Microsoft Office 365 or if you have an Outlook or Xbox account. Right? Now, for some of you, you might not be sure if you have Office 365 or not, and if you end up in any area that looks like this, a lot of organizations are using SharePoint or using other services from Microsoft. And if you click on that little tile document in the top left, you'll notice a OneDrive icon. So check and see if you have heard people around your company talking about OneDrive and you're not sure if you have it. You can always log in through that Microsoft portal, search OneDrive, try your work email, and see what happens. If you do have OneDrive and you're interested in learning more about all of the different options we have for OneDrive, we have a full 4-hour module on OneDrive. And if you attend our Windows 10 webinar that we have on the channel, on the YouTube channel here, you can get a free module of desktop training. So you can learn all the specifics and details of working within OneDrive. So here's our preview of what OneDrive is, that free cloud storage, and I do encourage you guys to stay tuned for more YouTube videos, follow the channel and the subscription, and let us know if you have any questions. We'll be answering questions from Twitter and from the channel, and let me know if there's anything that you'd like to know.